For many years, mushrooms were probably one of the weakest plant groups in PVZ2, as most were useless outside the Dark Ages. However, the situation has dramatically changed in recent years, as mushrooms are now experiencing their second renaissance by adding new plants with unique mechanics that fully change the way they use in a battle. Now, the game has 17 different types of mushrooms, and each will be ranked based on its gameplay, from worst to best. So, to start the scenes off, we've got the E tier. Number 17. Vamporchini. If I could pick the worst plant in the game, that would be Vamporchini. Its main gimmick is absorbing HP from the surrounding zombies in a 3x3 area for 6 seconds, only to reach the same level of health as Walnut. Vamporchini can also attack zombies, but don't get too high expectations, as it's unable to defeat even the basic zombie. When given plant food, it will be able to attack indefinitely, with no need to rest afterward. However, even that doesn't save it from being an awful plant. Vamporchini is bad both in defense and attack. For the same price, you can get Endurian and be sure that your loan is secured. Vamporchini is a synonym of E tier. Number 16. Sea-Shroom. There is just no place for such a plant in modern PVZ2, and the problem isn't in the power creep. It's about time. Big Wave Beach was added to the game in 2014, over 10 years ago, and Sea-Shroom was added in 2024, 10 years late. To be exact. There are over 200 different plants in PVZ2, and for some reason I should pick Sea-Shroom, which can be properly used in only one world. I would probably rank it a bit higher, but the low tide made everything even worse. So you can plant a few columns of Sea-Shrooms and lose them in a moment because of that. I find the perfect place for this plant in the E tier. Number 15. Perfume-Shroom. An excellent plant to get dinosaurs on your side, and that's all. It's more useful for defending the lane against the heavy dinosaurs instead of fighting zombies. And there is one thing. We are playing Plants vs Zombies 2, not Plants vs Dinosaurs 2. And that's a big problem. The range and conditions of its usage are, to say the least, very specific. Outside Jurassic Marsh, it can do nothing to zombies, and that's why most players forget about its existence right after beating the prehistoric world. Perfume-Shroom goes into E tier. And now it's time to move on to the D tier. Number 14. Puff-Shroom. An amazing plant from PVZ1 turned into an average shroom without any real usage in PVZ2. Puff-Shroom becomes useless right after the first appearance of Jester Zombie, who gives no chance to a tiny shroom. Additionally, a lifespan of 60 seconds leaves no opportunity for shroom spamming, as to sustain its numbers, you should always use plant food, which is usually in a high deficit. Puff-Shroom didn't find its niche not only in the Dark Ages, but anywhere else. Its main and the only advantage is the sunk cost, which may attract some players, but not me. That's why Puff-Shroom goes into the D tier. Number 13. Spore-Shroom. It's an interesting plant with a unique ability to create copies of itself from the defeated zombies. Sounds pretty cool, but only on the paper. In reality, those copies are bad. There is a high chance that if another plant caused the final hit, the copy won't even spawn. But even if it spawned, the place of its appearance leaves much to be desired. Moreover, its damage output is only slightly higher than one of the Cabbage Pult, making it especially useless in the Neon Mixtape tour. Spore-Shroom is the definition of the D tier. Number 12. Scaredy-Shroom. Another plant that made an awful comeback to modern PVZ2. Scaredy-Shroom has stayed the same since the first game, and that's the main problem, because no one needs a 25 sunk cost pea shooter in 2024. It doesn't work against the Jester Zombie, and it's not a good idea to plant it on the front side of the lawn, but its plant food ability is just something. You need to plant only 2 of them to defeat the Gargantuar, an insane result for such a cheap plant. It also greatly synergizes with Guard-Shroom, so make sure to use them together. The shroom is very specific, and it always requires some additional plants to be used with. Anyway, Scaredy-Shroom goes into the D tier. Number 11. Toadstool. It's one of the few premium plants that you shouldn't buy in any case, unless you are a big fan of chewing the zombies. Toadstool is a very specific shroom as it requires some other plants to be used with because 90% of the time it's vulnerable to zombie attacks. It takes around 30 seconds for Toadstool to consume a single zombie, compared to Chomper, who can digest 2 zombies in 17 seconds, almost half of the time of the Toadstool. If you want to spend the real money on the game, you should better buy Chomper, which is 10 times better than the Toadstool. Overall, the Froggy Dude goes into the D tier. And now it's time to switch to the C tier shrooms. Number 10. Hypno-Shroom, a mysterious brother of cauliflower who helps you create your own zombie army that starts eating a delicious cobblestone. The main reason to use Hypno-Shroom is to get your own gargantuar that no one and nothing can stop. It's especially effective for the last 10 levels, where you can get a ton of gargantuars for a few hundred suns. Hypno-Shroom is a great choice for low pace levels with a low amount of zombies, where you can fully open its potential in combo with Imitator. Hypno-Shroom is the first plant that goes into the C tier. Number 9. Magnet-Shroom. This is probably one of the most underrated shrooms in the game, as most players don't even know how to use it correctly. Magnet-Shroom is effective in the Neon Mixtape tour against the Punk Zombie, especially if you have a full column of them. It's also a solid choice for the Dark Ages to fight against the King Zombie with his Night Horde. However, the Magnet-Shroom becomes useless if there are no zombies with metal objects on the level, so you should always keep an eye on the zombie list if you want to play with it. So, for grinding some metal, the Magnet-Shroom goes into the C tier. And now the time has come to reveal the B tier shrooms. Number 8. Fume-Shroom. Finally, we have reached the point where all the shrooms are useful. It can easily defeat the Jester zombie, so it's already a good shroom. Fume-Shroom has a good price of 125 suns and has the same damage output as the Repeater, which makes it a good choice for a solid part of the adventure mode. However, because of the power creep and adding so many different plants into the game, the Fume-Shroom doesn't feel the same as it did in 2014. That's why it goes into the B tier. Number 7. Shadow-Shroom. The main point of this plant is to deal with the heavy zombies, as its poison ignores any type of armor. For sure, Shadow-Shroom may not be the best instant plant, but the plant food ability makes it truly worth using by poisoning every zombie on the screen, leaving no chance to anyone except the Gargantuar. Shadow-Shroom is a real goat that goes into the B tier. Number 6. Doom-Shroom. That's one of the few plants from PVZ 1 that made a good comeback into PVZ 2 because they adapted the good old plant to the new realities. That's how simple it is. Now it has 3 different growing stages, which reminds me of the Straw Bust, but this time the shroom explodes only after being eaten by a zombie. However, its plant food ability isn't the best one. It makes all the shrooms on the lawn grow to the final stage and then explode. That's not what I expected to see. So, with that being said, the TNT Shroom goes into the B tier. Number 5. Puffball. That is definitely the ugliest shroom in the game, even uglier than the awful Scaredy-Shroom. It explodes when planted and poisons the zombies in 3 columns, leaving them no chance to reach my taco. I strongly recommend using it while dealing with a significant amount of zombies, especially if you don't have any splash damaging plants. I like Puffball for synergizing with any type of plant you have and its simple usage. That's why I put it into the B tier. And today, boys, it's a unique day, because this time we've got 4 plants in the A tier. Number 4. Sun-Shroom. It is the second best sun-producing plant in the game, with a price of just 25 suns, making it a great alternative to the primal sunflower. Sun-Shroom is the best shroom you can get while beating the adventure mode, so go and beat the Dark Ages. I don't really know what else to say. Oh, anyway, the Sun-Shroom deserves its place in the A tier. Number 3. Guard-Shroom. He looks like your friend who didn't have a haircut for a year. It's an amphibious mushroom that spawns miniature guard-shrooms around itself, with the main shroom being a wall plant and small shrooms being chompers. The guard-shroom can also boost other shrooms that are placed on the mini-shrooms, so make sure to take some other shrooms with you. It is strongly underrated by the PVZ 2 community who didn't find the right way to use it. You should also try the Guard-Shroom's plant food ability, as this funny looking dude can consume a ton of zombies. With that being said, the Guard-Shroom goes into the A tier. Number 2. Nightcap. The first and the only undefeatable shroom in the list. It shoots piercing stars that poison zombies for 2 seconds, leaving no chains to any armored zombies. I recommend using that killing machine in combo with called Snapdragon, as their combination can stop literally any type of zombie. That is one of the best examples of power creep in the game, as it makes other shrooms look awful and weak compared to the Nightcap. Not a single zombie can defeat it, which tells a lot about how great the Nightcap is. This plant is a definition of the A tier. Number 1. Ice-Shroom. It's an amazing stolen plant and a great frontside attacker. It creates ice tiles in a 3x3 area around it that chill zombies and boosts Wintermint plants. It was one of the best comebacks from PVZ 1 to PVZ 2 when the old plant was updated to the new realities of the game. Ice-Shroom is a killing machine that not a single zombie except the Gargantuar can stop. If you have a chance to get it, you should better do that. Considering everything I said, the Ice-Shroom goes into the A tier. So every mushroom was ranked, and here is the final list.